Welcome to Your Hero Academia by Fangirl48 on AO3. Chapter 19 USJ Part 3. Everyone, sounds off! Ida yelled towards his classmates behind him. Who's still here? The remaining members of the class answered back in some way. All eyes focused on the villain who had just made half their group disappear. I think we still have at least half the class. Everyone else looks to have been scattered. Third thing spoke slowly, maneuvering themselves to the front of the group. No way was their space hero letting any more students disappear. I just hope everyone's still in the building. What are we going to do about this guy? Sarah asked, reading his tape. I doubt he'll just stand there like that, quiet. The second the villain tried anything again, Sarah would be ready to grab a hold of everyone he could. Thankfully, Shoji was standing next to him and could offer his raw strength to make sure no one else disappeared again. Judging from what I've seen, he could open portals and teleport people, 13 announced loudly, so the students who knew what to watch out for. There was a good chance that nothing was stopping other villains from being transported to the entrance other than the villain's mood. The biggest problem is he can become intangible too. Physical attacks against him have no effects. Vice Rep? Yes. You're the fastest student here. 13 turned slightly to look at Ida underneath their helmet. Run back to the main campus and tell them what's going on. But this is an order, Ida, 13 commanded. The space hero knew it might seem unfair to put this huge responsibility on one person's shoulders, but right now, as they looked at the terrified students' faces, all 13 could do was give them hope by sending one person safely away from this nightmare. You're the vice representative of this class. When the class representative cannot perform their duties, you must step up and take command. I can't just abandon you all. Ida stepped forward, only to be pushed back again by Sato. Didn't you hear, Sensei? The sugar user spoke. You've got a job to do. If I have to throw you out of here and make you, I will. Please, Ida, 13 spoke, their form suddenly appearing as big as All Might's to the remaining students. Use your quirk to save others. Don't worry, Ida. Uraraka gave the engine a bold look, her fists clenched, trembling. We'll be okay. We can handle support roles at least. She's right. Mina gave a shaky victory sigh. But remember, we're tough. Any villains come near us and we'll kick the crap out of them. Zero pulled some tape out, wrapping it around his knuckles. You're our best chance at getting out of this, Vice Rep. Get out there already. Ida shifted slightly for the first time, feeling the weight of the lives counting on him. Sensei always spoke of this on his darker days. It felt like this pressure on you, constantly trying to crush him under. Ingenium acted like nothing got to him, but Tensei Ida was always scared of buckling under the weight of those lives one day. On days like that, Tenya would watch his brother walk onto the balcony of their apartment. The hero would pull out his phone and call up a friend. One Tenya had never met before they moved to America to work for the hero Captain Celebre. Such foolish bravery. The warp villain spoke. Discussing your plans in front of the enemy. 13 discreetly flipped the lid off her fingertip open, activating black hole, pointing the finger at the villain to take them by surprise. Isn't it obvious? We let you hear you because there's nothing you can do about it. The students all felt hope blossom in their chests for a brief moment as the mist began drawn towards the space hero. However, their smiles of joy quickly morphed into cries of terror as the warp gate appeared behind the teacher. In a sick twist of irony, Black Hole turned against itself. 13. You are truly a hero who excels in rescue and disaster relief. Your quirk is so powerful that I would normally be extremely cautious around it. It took Tomura Shigaraki quite a while to devise how we should handle you. Kirigiri spoke coldly. 13's suit began to crumble due to their own quirk being used against them. Luckily for us, regarding real battle experience, you are nothing to worry about, since you've never experienced your quirk used against you. Teaching you this takes you off the board. Sensei! 13's eyes wide, as they felt the power Black Hole possessed being turned against them. Not only was the suit being torn to pieces, but the clothes and skin on the space hero's body began to as well. It hurt. Even if by some miracle 13 survived, they would carry the scar of this with them forever, just like their cousin. But they couldn't give up yet. Aizawa and the other students were counting on them. 13 tried to keep standing, but their legs gave out as they collapsed on the concrete. Poor hero, beaten by your own power. Sato broke free from the spell first. Turning around, he began pushing the engine user. Ida, weren't you listening? Run! Snapping out of the sugar user's words, Ida clenched his teeth. Tears of frustration pickled his eyes as he nodded and began taking off towards the door. Kirigiri turned his attention away from the hero, looked at the student attempting to flee, and sighed. Pitiful child, I'm afraid I cannot allow you to leave. It would be a problem if the school knew we were here and sent backup. The dark mist moved quickly, stretching out and beginning to block Ida's path, giving him no time to slow down. Kirigiri planned to warp the child to the furthest part of the entrance. The villains that brought could handle the armored child. However, they were not expecting another student to grab hold of the mist and create a small opening for the would-be escape. Dagio! Some of the students yelled in surprise. The dual-arm user did his best to hold the fog, but it was like trying to keep water or sand in your hands. The villain's body kept escaping through tiny openings that Shijiro couldn't close up fast enough. Go! Kirigiri felt anger start to form inside him. Usually the bartender felt nothing regardless of emotions. The only time he felt anything other than detached from the world was when Tomura Shigaraki was involved. Despite his flawed memory, the Warp Gate user truly cared for the young man, and Tomura Shigaraki had spent months coming up with this plan. It was the first time that Kirigiri had seen the younger work towards a goal that didn't involve video games. Kirigiri gave a shout of pure anger. They couldn't let all of Tomura Shigaraki's hard work be for nothing. Unintentionally, the metal brace Kirigiri wore became visible for a moment. What would Master say if he found out? They typically carrying towards his charge, the man did not suffer failure easily. Not to mention that Tomura Shigaraki was very sensitive regarding the adopted guardian/teacher's words. You think I'll let you escape? The villain hissed angrily. While Ashido took over 13's first aid, Uraraka ran forward. The gravity user was sure she had seen something shiny peeking out from dark void. Running towards it as fast as she could, Uraraka jumped and stuck her hands completely on whatever it was just on the mist that started inching closer towards Ida again. I don't know what this is, but it seemed important, Uraraka shouted, activating her quirk and throwing the metal brace forwards with all her might. Turning, the gravity user gave the vice press a thumbs up. Don't stop running, Ida. Damn it. Kirigiri cursed, trying to stabilize his main body, only to feel something attach itself to him again. Nice job, Uraraka. Sero grinned, under his helmet, pulling the tape, holding to slam the villain down into the ground. Unfortunately for Sero, Kirigiri could make gates of all sizes. Using his quirk, the villain made a small portal, just large enough to serve the tape. However, that brief window was all Ida needed to get outside the building and start his long run back towards the main campus. Floating above the group, Kirigiri gathered himself again, sighing deeply, knowing that he had failed in his mission. It appears I underestimated these heroes. Judging from his speed, we have less than 10 minutes before reinforcements arrive. Kirigiri spoke out loud to himself. We've lost. It is game over. 13 watched with blurry vision as the villain warped away. With the villain gone, the students let out a breath of relief. They couldn't relax completely. What if this was another trick? But for now, They could focus on the biggest problem. Ashido, Sero, and Uraraka began working on stopping 13's bleeding. Everyone else spread out, forming a circle around them, keeping guard at the top of the staircase. They would be ready if any of their classmates showed up, or, worse yet, more villains. 13 couldn't help but smile at the students' behavior. They just hoped that Aizawa was faring okay. The chronically exhausted man needed to get back here as soon as possible to see his students in conduct. These kids were going to be great heroes someday. Fangirl 48. I know I have, mentioned multiple times how I love how you build suspense. Stop building it. Where's the peak? It's like, those roller coasters? The one where it goes up slowly, and then at one point it then stops, and then you're just waiting there for a while, and then you hear the little click and you drop down? Yeah, I'm currently building up. I'm finally at the top, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the drop. I get it? You're good at suspense. I want the drop! But in all seriousness, this is really good suspense. I genuinely thought that they were gonna just immediately reveal the next chapter like they have been. Which, by the way, I noticed that. You did that. You've done this, twice now, I think? Well, you've done it once, right? And no, wait, you did it twice, right? The first one, it's literally like the next chapter it's revealed. The second one, the next chapter it's revealed. This one, it's taking a while to get revealed. So you kind of set that expectation of, oh, here's a little, a little sneak peek, and then you're gonna get the rest of it next chapter. Don't worry, right? So you come in this one with that expectation of, oh, it's gonna happen in the next chapter. Don't worry, next chapter. It's been 2 chapters. It's been 2 chapters. But in all seriousness, I really do enjoy this, and I love that we get to see what the other students were doing as well. It's very nice. I think the next chapter is when we're actually gonna see like the little sneak peek that we saw, and finally see what happens afterwards. I will say, Fangirl 48, you're doing a wonderful job at this. I'm having so much fun with this fanfic. And as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Join our community Discord server, link is in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.